Hi, welcome to episode 95. Always gotta look. Of the Cat Lady podcast. I apologize for the delay again. I am sick again. I just can't catch a break this year apparently, but here we are. So it is Monday, April 15th, 2019. Happy Tax Day. Hope everyone's getting some money back for taxes. I am recording with my phone again, and I'm using a wireless headphone microphone, so hopefully the quality turns out okay with this. So we'll, I like to play around with different things apparently, so I didn't really feel like dragging out my big camera, so here we are. So welcome to the Cat Lady podcast. Again, my name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Ladies. That's 2 T's, C-A-T-T, stands for Craft All the Things. I am primarily a knitting and spinning podcast, but do a lot of other crafts as well, including sewing, and I have a Cricut Maker, which is a paper cutting machine, or paper slash vinyl slash material cutting machine, so it makes a lot of decals and shirts and stuff with that. So I've been playing around with that, and I am recording from very indecisive Michigan. We had a nice day on Saturday. It was sunny. It was a little brisk, but it was a nice spring day, and then Sunday was rainy and snowy. We had a little dusting of snow still this morning, and it's cold, but now it's sunny, but it's supposed to be rainy the rest of the week, so yeah. I'm looking forward to some solid spring weather. Maybe that will help me from not being sick so much. So anyway, so thank you for joining me. If you're new, thanks for checking me out. I'm kind of all over the place, and that's typical. I'm usually all over the place, so nothing new there. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with me all this time. On to podcast news. I have a couple knit-along, craft-alongs, whatever going on. If you go over to the Ravelry group, you can see all the information about the craft-alongs. I'm wrapping up the one is going to wrap up in like a week or two. It's the 15th, though. At the end of the month, we'll close that one off, and I have a prize to give away, some yarn in a bag. And I think I was going to make a pom-pom. I have some pom-poms to make, so I think like a pom-pom for a hat. I need to go back and see what I said I was going to give away as a prize and put that together. But that's the end of the month, and it is the warm-up cal, and that is anything that is warm and cozy, so scarf, shawl, hat, mittens, socks, any kind of simple one-skein project. And each post is its own entry, so you can post as many times as you want. So if you're new and you say, oh, I made a hat and gloves and whatever, go ahead and go over there and post them in there. You need to be a member of the group to qualify to win. Again, that's the Cat Lady podcast on Ravelry. And the second one is the sweater knit-along, Fiber Fest sweater knit-along. And typically, if you go to a fiber festival, like a big one, like Rhinebeck or New Hampshire Sheep and Wool or something like that, typically you make a sweater to go to the festivals, and these are in the fall festivals. So if you make a sweater, but you don't have to go to the festival, but if you make a sweater, you can enter it into my group and the Reluctant Sisters podcast group and enter to win, and you can enter up to 2 times, so 2 sweaters, and then if you wear one to a festival and take a picture, you get a bonus entry. So up to 3 entries per person. And again, that's all on Ravelry. All the information's on Ravelry, and the sweater cal goes until the end of the year, roughly, end of November. That's pretty much when the fiber festivals wrap up. So again, all the information's on Ravelry for those. So on to knitting. So I'm pretty sure I didn't show off any of this, but I have a finished object, and it is, if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen some of this, but I decided to cast on a pair of socks. I haven't knit socks in a while, so I decided to cast on and finish a pair of socks. So this was made from a sock blank. Let's see if I can find the rest of here we go. So this was the original sock blank, of course a lot longer, but I had just enough for a kitty head left. So it was this pink and black stripey with these little black stenciled cat faces on there, and it was brazen stitchery. All the information is on my Ravelry page, so you can check out that. But this is how it knit up. Really cool. It's kind of like pink and black color blocks with like stripy patterns. So these are just vanilla socks, fish lips, kiss heel. I knit mine on size 0s and with a 60-inch stitch count. These were a little snug. I think I knit kind of tight because with a sock blank I worry about when you knit it, it's all kind of crinkly, but it did block out really nice. I I think I might have took a picture. I should have took, I don't know if I did. I might have taken a picture, but I may not have, of the sock unblocked versus the sock blocked, because it was a very noticeable difference, because the stitches are all wrinkly and stuff until you block it. But I gotta go to photograph these and get these off the blockers before I stretch them out, but I'm pretty happy with these. So that is my only finished object for knitting. Take that back. So back in January, I think, January or February, I knit this Copycat CC beanie. And, you know, I put it on and I realized I knit the little cuff here, the double knit brim, or double brim, or whatever, cuff, a little too short. And in general, it just seemed a little short. Like I could kind of, every time I put it on, I just kept tugging down on it. So I talked about this last episode that I was going to rip back, because I had a substantial amount of yarn left over. I was going to rip back and reknit the thing. So I added another repeat, basically. I added another set of ribbing and then ridges. Oh, here we go. No, I don't remember. But anyways, I added a repeat. And I am much happier with the results. Let's see if I can put it on. So it's a little, originally I didn't want it really slouchy, and it's not really slouchy, but it's got a little bit of slouch at the top. But but it fits, and I'm not like constantly like putting it down, and it just seems better. So it's not half it's not half funky hair like I did the one time. So yeah, and the pom-pom I just have tied on in the inside, so it was easy to take off. So literally I just have a string that ties it on, so that if I want to wash this or reblock it or whatever, I can, or I want to take it out, I don't have to, or I can change the pom-pom. Lots of things. I feel like there's no reason to permanently attach a pom-pom. So, and I could have done the whole snap thing, but I don't know, that seemed like a lot of work too. And literally I just strung a string through it, and there you have it. And it's secure, it's not going anywhere, so. So I redid that one, so it's technically a finished object. And I finally wove in the ends of my fade and took it out for its inaugural wear last weekend. I finally am comfortable wearing it, and I think the reason was I was putting too much effort into it. Oh, uh-oh. Ah! I'm unraveling my sock blank here. I think I was putting too much effort into how to wear it, when really all you need to do is put it on. So what I do is I take the one tail, kind of put it where I want it, and then I just start wrapping it around. So again, I think about 1, 2, two big wraps. And then kind of just start zhuzhing it around until my ends at the bottom are equal. And that's pretty much all I did. And so you end up getting the triangle part ends up being in front, at least for me. And then you can kind of pop out the first layer a little bit if you want to get some of the extra color in there. Yeah, it's big and bulky and whatever, and so it looks good. This one particularly looks good with like a what did I wear it with? Oh, I wore it with like a kind of a form-fitting long-sleeved purple shirt last weekend, and it looked nice. Doesn't really look good with a cream-colored t-shirt, but that's okay. But yeah, I feel like I was making it way too complicated to figure out how to wear this thing, when all you really just need to do is just wrap it around a few times and you're good to go. And it's cozy. I got a lot of compliments on it. So, very excited for that to be done and wearable. So that's sort of that's officially a finished object now, since it wasn't really officially finished. I need to get out and photograph that, the socks. I'm not sure how to I'm going to need my husband to help me photograph that so I can have pictures of me holding it out and kind of wearing it, but that's a beast, that's for sure. As for works in progress, I really need to get this thing going. I just, and it's the same reason every time, like, it's easy to knit, but I have to like pay attention and I have to mark it down. I really probably don't. I probably could count it later and figure it out. But this is my cowl design. And I think part of me is afraid that I'm not going to like it at the end. So I'm just hesitant to spend all this time on it. And then it's not going to, like, I'm afraid it's not going to turn out to what I want it to be. And it's not going to be good. So I don't know. There's this whole, like, fear of designing that I really just need to get over. I need these needles because there's another pattern I want to do that requires these needles. I talked about it last time, was a bow ascot style scarf that requires the same size needles, and I only have the one pair of needles. Well, technically I think I have another one, but I want to use these needles. But I am slowly but surely, I think I'm maybe about 50% done with this, so I'll show you some of it. So had some mesh in there, of course that little block out and stuff. But yeah, and this is I like the color. I do like how the color's coming out. It's very very busy, but I think it'll be good for a cowl because it's going to be all kind of bunched up anyways. But again, I'm hoping the size is right. It's like all these things that go into a design, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Like I don't know I mean, I've calculated stitches and everything, so it should come out to the size I want it, but it may not. It may not do what I want it to do at the end of the day, and that's just, and then I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing because I have to make notes. So all of that combined just makes not for easy take along knitting, and it takes dedicated knit time where you have to like really pay attention. So this is living in my Zelda bag, zippered bag. I really need to get some sewing in again too because I want to make some more. I was on a kick with a bunch of bags and I have to make some more bags again. So it is a work in progress. And then I cast on another pair of socks. I figured I always should have socks on the needles. And I've always wanted to make a pair of knee-high socks. So these are on Target to be knee-high socks. Obviously it just looks like a regular sock. This is in Lychee, Nipix Lychee in the Goth Kitty colorway. I'm tall. This is a fact, I know this. But boy, looking at the pattern, the pattern is called Basic Knee High Toe Up Socks. So very, and I'm not even following the pattern. To be honest, I'm not even following the pattern at this point. I really was just looking at it to see how they increased at the leg, because I know my leg gets a little wider, so it's going to need to be increased. However, following the pattern and the increases, it's just not going to work for my leg because my leg is tall. So like, she has it, it's a free pattern. She has it increasing after 35 stitches, which I knit 40. Which if I knit a regular sock, I'll knit up to, let's see, what was my last sock? The CATT blank socks, I knit 40, I think I knit like 50 rows or 50 rows plain and then 45 rows of ribbing, so that's, was it 50? I don't remember, but it was at least close to 100 rows. Easy. Before, and there was no increasing. So I knit the 40 rows, and then I knit the increase row, and then she has another increase every 10 rows up to 5 increases. So it increases 5 times, 10 rows in between. And then an additional 10 rows, and then 4 inches of ribbing. Well, that like puts it like halfway up my leg. So I need to go, so right now I did the 2 increases as marked here. Now I'm going to do 20 rows, increase, 20 rows, increase, 20 rows, increase, 10 rows, 4 inches of ribbing. I think that'll fit. I try to do some measuring and whatever. So this is very trial and error. Worst case scenario, I'll be ripping back to where I just where I finished the heel, or a little above, and knitting like 60 rows, then increasing up. Because I mean, I feel like the increases might be a little too soon for my leg. And yeah, so we'll see how it works. I'm thinking once it's on, as long as it's tall enough, it's going to be fine. Hoping it's not too many increases. I mean, I'm not super skinny anymore, but I don't know. So yeah, this is very trial and error, but, and according to the pattern, she only used 1 skein of yarn per sock. Yeah, which my regular sock. Like a regular sock takes 50 grams of yarn practically. I mean, when I have minis left over from socks, it's not that much. So I have 4 skeins to use, and I have a feeling like, let's see, where am I at? So I mean, I still have you know, good amount, but not I don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't think I'm gonna use 2 full skeins per sock, but it might be a skein and a quarter or something. So I might need like 3 skeins total, but I have 4, so. And that's living in my little kitty bag. This was a little fabric quarter from Joann's a long time ago. A little drawstring bag. And that's it for knitting. So on the spinning, I finished up an odd and end. So if you follow me in the past, I've been doing these odds and ends. Oh, I didn't take it off the spindle yet. Still on the spindle, but I finished it. And it's pretty kind of a, got like a greens and purples. All these things, all of them still need to be washed. I'm only down to 4 left total. So here's, these all still need to be washed. I don't know why I didn't wash them this time. Usually I wash them right away, but for some reason I didn't this time. So here's all of them. I've showed them off before, but there's all the minis. So this is Into the World Odds and Ends. Just a very eclectic, random selection of fibers in this little bag. This is my second batch of these. Probably since I'll be, yeah, I'll probably get another one. These are just fun to go spindle projects. Perfect, perfect spindling. Okay, because I don't like spindling more than about 2 ounces on a spindle, to be honest. So these are about, you know, 1/4 of an ounce each, maybe even less. So probably less. So those are fun. I think I put this under spinning because it's fiber related, but I mentioned before that I had a braid that I didn't really care for after I sat on it, and I pulled it apart and I did a bunch of stuff with it, and I still wasn't sure what to do with it. So I showed off one of them, the blue one. I turned it into a dryer ball. Turned out a little small, but that one was completely hand felted. This one I did differently, and it's a lot sturdier, heavier, and actually turned out better. So this is the orange one. After I washed it, it got fuzzies all over it, or dried it with some towels, so it's now fuzzied, but whatever, it's just functional. But I have 2 left, 2 more colors left, but what I did is the core of this is created out of Lion Brand, what is it? The wool, fisherman's wool. So I rolled a ball of 2 ounces of fisherman's wool, and I had 2 ounces of orange that I literally just kind of hand cranked around. So I didn't felt it. I didn't like needle felt it whatsoever, which was so much easier because it took me forever to needle felt the small little blue one, which has a core of like raw, like some other just white wool to try to make it 4. And supposedly it's 4 ounces, but it's awful small, so I don't know. So this is 2 ounces of fisherman's wool with 2 ounces of the colored fiber on the top. And I have 2 balls of the fisherman's wool wound already. It's in the basement. And so I have 2 more colors of 2 ounces each of the wool from that braid. It's like a teal colored and a raspberry color. So I just need to wind them up, put them in the washer and dryer, and then I'll have 2 more dryer balls. So, put in the laundry basket. So those are works in progress. So, on to stash. So I got a little too much stash this time, which isn't typical, but I'm a part of a few de-stash groups on Facebook, which are troublesome. But someone was selling a lot of Lychee, and if you know me, this entire, right behind me, this entire little cubicle is filled with Lychee. I have a Lychee problem. Hence the knee-high socks will be perfect to de-stash some of this. So, I got a big bag of Lychee for dirt cheap, really. So yeah, I got 2 more of the Goth Kitties. So here's my other 2 Goth Kitties. So, and, you know, of course they're not the same dye lot. So what I'm going to do, I mean, of course they look similar enough. I'm going to finish the sock with one of the new ones. And I like things matchy-matchy, so I already have this aligned to start at the same color as the first one. So both the bottoms of the socks are going to be the same dye lot, and then the top of the sock will be whatever from one of the new ones. And I really think I'm only going to need the one. I don't think I'm going to need two. So I'll have enough left for shorty socks, or probably even probably a mid-length sock. If I do a contrast, like, oh, the other one I'm doing the contrast heel and toe, which is black. And if I do the same contrast with that, I could probably get another pair of socks on it. So all these I have two. And I had this color already. This is Sonora Sunset. I don't have this color, so I have two of those. And I have Hawaiian Shirt, which I don't have that color either, so I've got two of those. Nassau, two of those. Pretty blues. This one, I'm really excited about this one. Golden Hour. This is super pretty. I love that one. Nice oranges and pinks. Got two of those, and I already have this colorway, so now I have four of these, but that's okay. Technically, I bought these to make socks for my husband, but Spaceman. So now I have four of these total, so maybe we'll just make a pair of matching socks, or who knows what. But that's fine. It's a very good neutral color. So yeah, so this was a steal, and I love Lychee. There will always be a place in my stash for Lychee. They don't wear the best. Like, if you look at my Lychee socks, they are a bit hilly. They probably could all use a good once over with a gleaner. But I don't know. The yarn's so inexpensive, and it's pretty. The stripes are pretty, and I don't know. It's worth it. It's still worth it to me. And they're socks. No one's staring at the pills on my socks, so I'll wear them still happily. And I don't dry them. I just wash them only. I don't put them in the dryer, but they still tend to pill. What is the content? It is a merino nylon, so you know it's more delicate wool. So wait, it's not. Is it superwash? Okay, it is superwash. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I think that's the same as most sock blends, but maybe not. Alrighty. Stash. I'm still on stash. Okay, so as mentioned, I'm doing a lot. So I'm doing the contrast heel toe. So I stopped at Joann's and picked up some more Serenity, and just something basic. Serenity sock in black and in like cream colored white. So I thought these would be perfect for the stripy socks with the contrasting heel and toe. I don't like using the stripy socks into the heels because then it just always looks funky. You always get the weird stripe. You lose your stripe consistency in the front of the sock. So let's see. Now my stripe consistency is a little off in the back, but I don't care. That part doesn't bother me. But it's nice and smooth in the front. So my stripes keep going uninterrupted in the front. Now in the back, yeah, I have a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom there of that greenish. So there's a few rows here, a few rows here. That doesn't bother me. It's like right, and the heel's kind of right in the middle. Usually I attempt to try to, and I couldn't this time because I needed to knit to a certain size. But usually if I can, I'll stop at a stripe so that even the back will look consistent. I'm OCD about socks for some reason. I'm not OCD about much, but socks I really am. So I like to start on a complete stripe to start. I don't just like want to start willy-nilly half a stripe because then I get like these weird two row of a stripe, and then so unless it's you know, and then again I want both socks to match. I've only made one or two socks that don't match. Even my sock blank socks, and it was semi-intentional, but not really. But really, I mean, come on, that's pretty good. The stripes really do. The color blocks match up pretty good. And it was semi-intentional. I mean, I knew I had less control over it, but it still worked out in my advantage because I kind of knew where I should stop. So yeah, so that's my sock OCD. And like I said, I already pulled this apart to make sure that both, so at the beginning I took both skeins of yarn, ripped out the center, and matched them up to the first color that was so let's see, do I have, oh yeah, so here's, I think this is it. Is this the right, yeah, so here's the yarn I pulled out from the front of both. So yep, so it's about 2 or 3 grams there. Which, oh, Just broke my flower. Don't mind me. I have this dried flower from my husband bought me some flowers. The petal, a couple petals just fell off, but so I usually don't. I used to dry all my flowers from when I was in like high school, and I had a boyfriend that bought me tons of flowers. I used to dry them all. I don't typically do that now because, you know, it's hard to store them, but I just dried that one rose because it was pretty. Okay, so anyways, where am I going with this? So anyways, I bought all this yarn. It was buy 3 get 1 free or something like that, so I think I got one free. Yeah, buy 3 get 1 free. So, easy black white contrast. Which I thought the black went well with the CATT kitty. So, but yeah, white, cream, and black, I could figure I could make that work with anything. Alright, so I'm dilly-dallying here. Okay, so this weekend, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, I went to Ann Arbor Fiber Festival and picked up some stuff. So, let's see, let's find the... We saw some bunnies, and they all wanted to sell me the bunnies, and I wanted to buy a bunny, but I didn't buy a bunny. But there was a booth, let's see, she was called Lytle, I'm not sure how to say it, Fiber Art. However, she is changing her name to Stony Creek Yarn Company. So here's her new business card. I won't even show off the old stuff because she is now Stony Creek Yarn Company, local dyer. But she moved from one area of town to another, and she has improved her dye techniques and grown as a dyer. So she had her whole this whole big table full of yarn that was from the Lytle Fiber Company, so her old brand, that she was discounting for $12 a skein. So I mean, we're talking half off pretty much. Well, this was originally $29, so I mean, this was a good deal. So, and this one was $26, and this one was $26. So this one I think is an MCN. Yeah, so we have a merino cashmere nylon, and then we have 2 that are merino nylon. Superwash merino nylon, merino nylon. So, yeah, these 2 are the same base, this one's a different base. And again, I'm still kind of questioning now. I think actually these 2 go really good together. So I'm thinking these 2 might be, originally I was trying to find 3 for a 3 skein project, but the more I think about it, the more I look at these, I think this might be a 2 skein project. So we got a nice kind of speckly, or not speckly, but a variegated, lighter, and then we have a darker tonal. And we have fine wine, spelled W-H-I-N-E, so like whining. That's funny. And then plumberry crumble. So yeah, now that I look at these again, I'm trying to get 3 together, but I'm thinking these 2 will go good together. And then this one is going to have to be on its own. I have a lot of this color. I can't stop buying this pink and purple. Like, I have like a whole freaking shelf of like pinks and purples. And I love it. I just really need to venture out into a different colorway. But this one's called When Flowers Attack. So, but you couldn't beat the price. So, you know, and these were the only colors that really called up to me. There was another one I almost grabbed. It was like a gold and blue. It was like a yellow and blue. So, like, University of Michigan, U of M colors. And there were 2 of them. I was going to grab the 2 skeins because I figured I could make one project with that. But those aren't my colors. And I don't know. And I probably could have done something with it. But Emily helped me pick these out. But we tried hard to pick 3. But I don't think those 3 quite. This one just sticks out. These 2, good. This one, too pink. These ones are more purple. So, what do you think? So, but I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, there's that. Now, I should have printed out the pattern that I was going to do. So this one, I have a pattern already picked out. It's called Aeque. I can't even pronounce it. I can't even attempt to pronounce it. I still need to buy it. But they had it on, she had it on display. There's a sample made with this kit, and this is Fiber Story, and this is a Mosaic Minis favorite sock, Superwash Merino, just merino. So I've used Fiber Story before. I used it in my first Find Your Fade, but Emily helped me pick out this color as well. And I love mini sets. I love gradients. So, like, everything about this is just great, and the cost wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a little more than when you buy a skein of yarn, but I figured I'd splurge because I really liked the pattern. It was it's like a neckerchief style, so it looks like you're wearing a triangle shawl, but yeah, it's a triangle scarf, but it's seamed in the back, so it's like a neckerchief, literally. So, and the sample was made with one of her little things here, so that's what I wanted to buy. But it did come with a pattern called Random Ridges, which was I think it was an asymmetrical triangle shawl. That kind of had some like pearl ridges, I think, in there. It says, let's see, simple triangular scarf, designed to use almost any amount of yarn. Just knit until you run out of yarn, alternating sections as written, or mix it up to create your own sequins. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that with this, but I will keep that in my patterns to maybe use something else. And then Emily, so my dear Emily, this is the first fiber. Okay, well, hold on. That's okay. She picked up some lip balm, and now I will jump into Life in Review and tell that story. So, back up a bit. Last I recorded was a week before spring break. So this is the section I'm going to talk about where I've been, what I've been doing. So if you are not interested, then feel free to come back next time. So, anyways, the last time I recorded was right before spring break. I took that week, and I took spring break off because we were gonna be doing some family vacation stuff and, you know, being all out and about and stuff. So I figured, you know, I don't need to record that week. So we went to Grand Rapids, which is, let's see, Michigan is this way. I'm trying to figure out which way you're going to see it. Hopefully you see it the right way. So we live in southeast Michigan. Grand Rapids about up here. It's a 2-hour drive. Super easy drive. And so we left on a Saturday afternoon and got to the hotel and just kind of chilled on Saturday. And then Sunday we went to the Public Museum, which is a very just eclectic museum of random things from the area. Like Grand Rapids is known for furniture making, so they got a lot of furniture, and then they got like a toy section, like a toy museum section, and just all these weird, it's a strange museum, but it was fun. And they had a dinosaur exhibit, so that's why we kind of went there. We went to the dinosaur exhibit. And then it was busy for spring break, but we always get the places early enough that we kind of miss the crowd, so that's always good. And then afterwards we went to the Grand Rapids Children's Museum, which is a like hands-on museum where the kids can just run around and play with pretend shopping areas. There was like bubbles and hula hoops and doctor kits and stuff like that. So and they were a little old, so they're 8 and 6 right now. They're almost 7 and 9. So they're getting close to aging out of that, but they had a good time. We spent a good hour there. And then the next day we went to the Meyer Gardens, which is a art and sculpture park. Basically it's like this big open area with a bunch of sculptures. You walk around and they have gardens, which the gardens, of course, it was too cold for the gardens to be blooming. So to be honest, it was probably a little early in the year to go. We'll probably go back again. But they were having their butterfly exhibit, so they had an indoor like greenhouse with all the butterflies, so that was fun. Kids like the butterflies. So we went into the butterfly enclosure twice, and then we walked around we went into the butterflies, and we walked around the park, and then we went back to the butterflies. And it was a little chilly outside walking around, but it was sunny, so it wasn't too bad. So that was on Monday, and then Tuesday we ended up, originally we were going to try to squeeze something else in, but we ended up just driving home on Tuesday. And yeah, everyone had a good time. We went to a couple of our favorite restaurants, or went to one of our favorite restaurants, and then we stumbled across another restaurant that we really liked. So we went to Yesterdog, which is a hole-in-the-wall, dumpy little hot dog joint that cash only, that they make like hot dogs with a whole bunch of crap on it. So we like the hot dogs that have like chili and ketchup and mustard and pickles, and I'm talking pickles, they're like shredded pickles, it's like so good. Cheese, and I mean they're just like, they're horrible looking. If I remember to put a picture in, I'll put a picture in, because of course we took a picture. Kids were not really into them, but every time we go to Grand Rapids we have to go there, and it's so good. And then we ended up going to Hopcat Brewery, which was a new place for us. It was downtown Grand Rapids, not too far from the Children's Museum, so we ended up parking and walking to the brewery and then going to the museum. And yeah, the food was really good, and I had a really good beer, and yeah, it was a good experience. So it's actually somewhat of a franchise all around Michigan. I don't know, there might be out of Michigan too, but I know there's a couple that are semi-local, so we might have to pop into one of the ones around here too. So then we came back on Tuesday. Jim went to work on Wednesday because he's got a lot of stuff to do on Wednesdays. That's kind of his busy work day. So he's like, well, I'm going to take spring break off, but is it okay if I go on Wednesday? I'm like, sure, why not? So, but I started to feel crappy on Wednesday. Like, I was having, like, major, like, body aches. Like, from the waist down. My legs were just killing me. Now I equated it, and it still might be. I was wearing, like, boots, like, fashion boots, when we were walking around the gardens and the museums. I didn't bring my, like, walking shoes, which was dumb. So I equated to the aches and pains to maybe walking not so great in, like, fashion boots. They weren't heeled or anything, they were flat, but still they were not really equipped for hours of walking, because we did a lot of walking in all the museums. So so Wednesday I just pretty much just lounged on the couch. And on Thursday, the aches and pains were slightly better, but then I just still felt crummy. And then by Friday I started getting sniffly. And I thought it was allergies, because, you know, we were outside and it's springtime, things are blooming, you know. Then by Saturday I was like full on head cold. And unfortunately, Saturday was date night for me and my husband. We were shipping the kids off to my dad's house to stay the night, and we had a whole day and night to ourselves. And lo and behold, I am just a wreck. So we didn't ruin the day, of course. I just like loaded up on the medicine, and we're gonna have a good time. So we didn't, of course, do anything like that we would have normally done. Like, I was thinking we would take a hike somewhere because it was a nice day outside, or, you know, do something like outdoorsy and active, you know, type thing. We'd go to a fancy dinner or something. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. And so we did have sushi for lunch, which was amazing. And we overate, so actually by the time we were like dinner time, it's like we're not even that hungry for like big fancy meal anyways. So it worked out. But we went for a drive, and we both like to kind of go for drives, just wander around. But Jim likes to have like a destination. Well, just for some odd reason, it popped in my head, let's go to Hell. So if you're from Michigan, you know there is a Hell, Michigan. What do I have there it is. So, no idea. I've never been there. Never seen a picture of it. No nothing. I'm assuming it's this like small little Podunk Town, though. You know, like Jim's like, oh, there's probably a McDonald's and a gas station type thing. You know. So it's we stay off the freeways, we meander our way out there. It's about an hour drive, so we turned it into maybe an hour and a half drive by avoiding major thoroughfares. And we get there, and it's literally 2 restaurants, like bars, 2 like biker bars, and a souvenir shop. That's it. It's like not even like a town. It's like nothing. So we were laughing. We actually passed it. We like drove and like, oh, was that it? And we had to turn around and come back. So we stopped at the souvenir shop, and I got a shirt. I should have grabbed it. If I have a picture, I don't think I have a picture of myself wearing the shirt, but I'll put in some pictures of our little trip. So we bought a shirt, and it was called Scream. It's a Halloween / souvenir shop, really, which of course, Hell, Michigan, why not? Screams, ice cream, and souvenirs. Their website is gotohellmi.com, and they have a Facebook page. But this was our exit visa, so it says, exit visa entitles the bearer safe passage through Hell, Michigan. So, I don't know, just really silly. The lady was a blast. She was really funny, the lady who works there. I picked out a shirt. They had a million shirts to choose from. I picked out one silly little shirt. And we took some pictures outside, and yeah, it looks like it could be fun. Like in the summer, they have like an ice cream place, and they have inside the souvenir shop, they have like a dinky putt-putt course outside, and apparently they do some activities throughout the year. Jim's like, we'll probably never go back, but it would be fun. Maybe someday we'll take the kids, but I don't know. But they have a restaurant that was called the Hell Hole, and then I can't remember what the other one might have been called Hell's Kitchen. I don't remember. Or maybe that was a sign on the back of the souvenir shop. You can get married there. They have like a little chapel. So, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was really fun. It was really just something different. We had a fun time driving there. So it was pretty funny. So then we were gonna go to this like fancy milkshake place, and literally they sell like 5 milkshakes. Like they rotate what ones they have in stock, I guess, or whatever, 4 or 5, and they're like a milkshake that is like topped with like a bunch of crap. Like, okay, so it's like a s'mores milkshake, and then it's got a giant cracker and marshmallows and chocolate and stuff on top. So you're like getting a whole dessert on top of your dessert. So we thought it would be fun. We would go and get one. Well, it was Saturday evening in the downtown area that it was at. Oh yeah, there was a line out the door. We didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait. If I was feeling better, maybe I would have wanted to wait, but it was already getting, it was in the evening-ish, and it was like, we didn't want to wait. And we thought, well, we'll come back with the kids, because they would have fun too. So then we ended up at a Cold Stone, which is just a Cold Stone / Tim Hortons. So it was a tiny little Cold Stone outpost ice cream place in a Tim Hortons next to a gas station. So yeah, real romantic. So we got our Cold Stone, which we hadn't been there in ages, and it was good because they make they mix all the brownies and sprinkles and stuff in your ice cream. So yeah, that was good. And then next door was like a Domino's Pizza, and we don't have Domino's Pizza by us, so we're like, let's get a pizza. So we got a Domino's Pizza, and we drove to a park, and we sat in the back of Jim's Jeep and ate our pizza. So that was nice. And then on the way home, we stopped at Joann Fabrics and GameStop, which totally sums up me and my husband's relationship and hobbies. So I went to Joann's, I got my black and white yarn. He went to GameStop, he got some sort of video game accessory, and then we went home, and I think I might have knit. He played his video games, and that was our crazy, adventurous date night. And the kids had fun at the grandparents' house, and we picked them up the next morning after breakfast. Did we go to breakfast? What did we do? Oh yeah, we went to a really nice, oh my gosh, my breakfast. Yeah, I should have took a picture of this thing. It's called Cinnamon Roll Pancakes. So they literally like made these pancake strips. So, a long strip of pancake, and then like smothered it in like cinnamon butter, sugar, whatever, rolled it up to look like a cinnamon roll, and then like shoved a bunch of like cream cheese frosting on top, and there were 3 of them, and they were huge. So I literally only ate one. I took the rest for leftovers, and I think I ate like half of one the next day. So they were just like, you have to share that with somebody. That was like full on dessert. That wasn't breakfast. It was really good though. So then there was last week, which still dealing with this stuff. You can hear me. You can hear the congestion. So I was sick last week. I muddled through the week. I muddled through Girls on the Run. We had our floors done in our kitchen, so I was like, had people tromping through my house last week, so that was not fun. Floors look nice. We just had our kitchen redone, so it was kind of just a crummy week. And then this past weekend, I just happened to look at, I knew the Fiber Festival was coming up. And I just happened to get on my phone in the morning. Emily was sitting by me. I said, oh, there's a Fiber Festival this weekend. She's like, oh, let's go. I was like, oh, you want to go? She's like, yeah, let's me and you go. I said, well, sure. Wasn't going to pass that up. Me and her got in the car. We drove the hour drive to Ann Arbor and went to the festival. And so here's the story I started to tell. So my poor little ear loves stuffed animals. And well, if you've ever been to a Fiber Festival, you know they don't particularly have just regular stuffed animals. They have the hand-felted, pure sheep hair, alpaca, whatever animals. And these stuffed animals are not like $5 stuffed animals. These are like $30 stuffed animals that are pretty much for display only. You don't take these stuffed animals and sleep with them and cuddle with them because you'll felt the heck out of them. And they'll turn all scraggly and whatever. You set them on your shelf and look at them. And, they're $30, $40, So she was a little sad. So finally we stumbled across a lip balm person who made all natural lip balm. I have her card in here. So I convinced her that I would buy her lip balm, which it was like $4 lip balm. So, it's expensive lip balm. But she is a avid chapstick lip balm collector, and it was totally worth it. Oh, this is not her card. So she picked up her Ren and Rita. And Yeah, it doesn't say exactly what she does on here, but she does she had a bunch of all natural, like handmade stuff, like soaps and balms and stuff. So Emily picked out the strawberries and cream lip balm and seemed to be content with that. And then she dropped it on the car floor on the way home and freaked out that we were gonna lose it, and it went under my seat, and yeah, well, we got it back. So, but yeah, I felt bad that there was nothing else you could get there. I told her I'd buy her some yarn. I still need the teacher on the knit, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday Saturday was a nice sunny, it was a little windy, but it was a nice sunny day, and then Sunday was like cold and rainy and disgusting. So we kind of didn't want to be cooped up in the house all day. We didn't know what to do, so we stumbled upon open jump at the inflatable place. So we took the kids to the inflatable place. We had the whole place to ourselves, so they had an hour of open bouncing, these little bounce houses and slides and whatever for an hour. And then we went to our favorite Mexican restaurant for lunch. And then we came home and just messed around. And then watched Star Wars Episode 2. So we're slowly getting the kids through the Star Wars movies. So we started with 1. We did that, a few months ago. And so now we're on Episode 2. And then we'll go from there. And then that was it. So kids are back to school today. We have a shortened week this week because of Easter. So they have a half day on Thursday. They have no school on Friday. Take the cats to the vet this week. I have an eye appointment this week, so back to the grind. Girls on the run this week, but I'm still just not over all this ick, and it's really annoying. But I'm definitely better than I was last week. So next weekend's Easter. We're gonna be busy with the family all weekend. So, but I should be back at it next week. So hopefully I will get some more crafting going this week, and I will have some more things to show off. I hope you all get to craft all the things and have a great week and have a great holiday. Bye.